so much for taking the time and allowing us to take over your house today.
Yeah, anytime.
So welcome to the DA series. As we discussed, just a quick interview about you, the car, why this car, all that sort of stuff. So that said, how did you become passionate about cars?
You know, I've been passionate about cars ever since growing up. You know, I was very fortunate to be able to drive really nice cars from a very young age. You know, my old man was in Porsche Club and was racing Porsches, and then transferred into racing Porsches and owning them and driving on the streets just for dailies to, you know, having Ferraris and being able to drive Ferraris. So
that's awesome.
You know, I learned how to drive a stick on a Porsche and fine-tuned it on a Ferrari, so I can't complain.
That's awesome. So when you, going back to Dad and his racing, did he race road course? What was his style?
Yeah, his was full road course. So Heartland Park down in Topeka, we went down there a bunch. Halleck Park down in Oklahoma. And then, you know, we finally got the track up closer to us here in Omaha, down in Glenwood Pacific Junction. So, you know, the full road course, you know, 16 to 20 corners, you know, 3 to 4 straightaways, speeds anywhere from 70 miles to 140 in straightaways.
And that's what he did, and you did that too?
He did that, and then when I was old enough to go on the track and he reached 18, he took me down there, and it's, you know, it bites you.
Yeah.
It's speed and fast corners are fun, you know, and it's definitely an enjoyable experience.
What do you think your favorite car of all time is? Is it still Porsche or Ferrari?
You know, I think after I had a kind of a weird experience with my old man saying, hey, take out the Ferrari and go wash it if I could, and meeting a photographer, and then, you know, a couple months later having about 9 models show up at the house dressed to the nines and taking pictures with it, it tends to kind of set the mood, you know. I think it was 16 at the time, 17 at the time. And so I've always been a fan of it, and that car was a Ferrari Testarossa. So, you know, you drove that car out in the street, and it was a head turner. Sure. He had a 355 F8 Spider after that, but the Testarossa just turned heads. It was the poster that was on every boy's wall growing up. So it was definitely Ferrari's kind of my staple of cars.
Yeah, I feel like for most kids it was either the Ferrari or the Lambo, and then sometimes you'd have people that would do both, but it was usually one or the other, so it can't go wrong there. Right. So would you say that's still your favorite?
Yeah, Ferrari is by far my favorite car brand out there. You know, I've had different cars along the ways as I've grown up and matured and been able to financially transition from one type of car to another type and to another type. So, you know, I just always loved the beauty and the lines of Ferrari. And the racing heritage that they've got behind them for some other car brands that are out there.
Understood. It's interesting how certain things when we're kids resonate to us, and then fast forward to the future, it's like that kind of molds us to be, like you said, those experiences when you're younger, then you kind of want to gravitate back towards those because of those memories, and then with the new technology and still have that feel of what you once knew.
Right.
Amazing. So how did you become a fan of Depreciating Assets? How'd you meet us? How'd we find you? Or
you know, I took delivery of this car. I was just looking for shows to go around to and, you know, share my passion with other people. And I found the DA group via Facebook. And that relationship has kind of blossomed into, you know, just going out to a car meet or car show for a few hours on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon to doing different events, you know, pool parties, roll racing, cruising on a weekday night when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
Just getting out and enjoying cars and enjoying people that have like minds.
So with that said, you just named a bunch of different things that we do. Out of all of those, what would you say your most enjoyable or your most memorable moment would be?
You know, who doesn't like racing? So, you know, roll races are just an incredible time.
Yeah.
You know, and you get anyone from a regular factory Camaro to a well-built, you know, custom hot rod.
Yeah, race car,
whether it may be, you know, a complete custom race car with not a name brand manufacturer on it, to, you know, an Audi R8 that's turbocharged and decked out and built out 100%. So, you know, you get to race different varieties and flavors, and you get to meet good people and good personalities out there for the people that come out to the racetrack.
So we talked a lot about the history, Ferrari, why Ferrari. Any modifications?
So this car is got full paint correction done on it, full paint protection film done on it, ceramics to protect the car. And then, you know, before I even got delivery of it, it went down to an audio shop in Chicago. Got an audio upgrade, speakers, subwoofer, and then kind of the lifesaver that's saved me about 5 times so far is a radar and laser system.
I thought that's where you were going to go with that one.
That's you know, custom built into the front end of the car, the back end of the car with the display in the mirror. So it's completely a stealth-mounted radar system that has saved me at least 5 times.
Good stuff. So it was a good investment.
Great investment.
That's awesome. What else are you into? Are you into fitness? Are you into?
So I, you know, we're kind of sitting in our exercise room, you know, next to the garage, and Peloton and keeping in shape is one of them. So, you know, I've got a Peloton here in this room, and
why here?
Well, it overlooks the garage and
is that
overlooks
the best view of the house?
and that's kind of the best view for keeping a person motivated. You know, it gives a person goals, you know, to shoot for. This is my first Ferrari, and I had to go with the classic Ferrari red for it, but you know, it's a goal. We're kind of goal driven, you know, with the cars that we get, and you know, we're always after that next goal. That goal may be, you know, going from 12 seconds to 10 seconds on the quarter mile, or, you know,
I don't know anybody with those goals.
You know, or getting a faster 60 to 130 time. You know, it's kind of all about the goal. So what better goal to be staring at and keeping you motivated and keep you going with life.
Very cool, very cool. Any advice for fellow enthusiasts, especially like the younger generation?
Younger generation is just get out and talk. Get out to meets, socialize, be cordial. You know, most of the car community is pretty nice, straightforward. But get out and talk. You know, bring your car out. It doesn't have to be the best, fastest, shiniest car out there.
So it doesn't have to be a Ferrari?
No, sorry, don't have to. You know, my first car was a Honda Civic, and I modified that just like every car people do. And you know, throughout my life, I went and changed from, you know, one type of car and different modifications to, you know, new ones. So, you know, I've had Hondas, I've had Audis along the way, I've had Lexus, you know, and this is kind of my fun weekend car that has gotten me at the top of my list so far. You know, my daily's a truck.
I was just going to ask what the daily was then.
Yeah, the daily's just a Silverado truck, work truck, and that's kind of what I do for business is heavy highway construction. So
is it really a work truck, or do you have leather?
It's got leather.
Okay, all right. So it's not a work truck with the plastic floors. He's making it sound like he's slumming it over here.
No slumming.
Well, good for you, man. You work hard, and what's the point if we can't have some featured comforts?
Yep.
Yeah. Sweet. So, Brian, we learned about you. We learned about this amazing vehicle. But tell us about this garage, because this looks like garage goals. I mean, from the lighting to the floor drain. Tell me all of it. Don't leave anything out.
Yeah, we went down a rabbit hole when we bought the car and said, hey, let's go add a 4th car garage, and it went a lot further than that, and we just kept on going down to a deeper rabbit hole. You know, we got custom LED lights that are plastered into the ceiling that our company installed, and all on dimmers, different drivers. We had DeMarco Brothers in town come in and do a custom terrazzo floor. And
dumb it down for the people with the cheap seats. What does that mean on the floor?
So the terrazzo floor is a special Italian method of pouring floors that you see in schools and churches, you know, kind of more commercial spaces. They actually take a bunch of marble and glass and mirrors and put it in a binder, pour it on the floor, and then they polish it down till it's a shiny product that it is now. So
it's eco-friendly.
It is eco-friendly. It's all recycled materials.
So you're green. Look at that. Yeah. That's awesome. And then what about the drain?
So we put a drain right down the middle. It's kind of hard to see. The drain drains back to the house, back to the normal sewer system, and makes it really easy to wash cars in here. You know, it doesn't create trip hazard, blends in with the floor, goes away, and then washing the cars, you know, you just squeegee the water back into the floor. So when we did it, we knew that this is what this space was going to be. It was going to be kind of a showcase for a nice car.
It's the house for the car.
Right.
So speaking of washing the car, what's your routine?
So washing the car, I learned a lot from Esoteric, which is a big YouTube channel.
Okay.
And so we ended up putting in custom car wash system from Obsessed Garage.
Well, that's very fitting.
It's completely obsessed.
So is this an RO system?
So it's got deionized water system
Okay.
that lets you get it spot free. 3 separate buckets, a rinse and a clean bucket, and then one for the tires, and then all the different chemicals, and then different towels. And there's more towels up here that are all dirty from washing it. But I'm big into not touching the car and whatnot, and I learned a lot from that channel. And one of the coolest things I bought was, a blower that blows it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if most people do it, but it's basically like a big air blower, and you take it around the car and blow off the water. You don't even use a towel or a squeegee or,
So do you use a microfiber at all, or you only use forced air?
I really much just use forced air, and then a little bit of the water that catches, I'll grab the microfiber to really clean it. And then that way you're not touching the car and not scratching.
No, it makes sense. My routine's very similar to that. I'll use, if I don't have the compressor hooked up, I'll even grab a leaf blower. When I was at a shop, we would use compressed air too, because you really get, like you said, you get it out of the nooks and crannies.
It works fantastic. I never knew, and until I bought this car, I thought I knew how to wash cars.
Mm-hmm.
I had black cars and did pretty well with them, but when you want to take care of a car and do it nicely, you learn how to wash a car correctly.
It's a different level of machine, so.
It's a different level, so a different car wash. So,
well, beautiful car, beautiful garage, beautiful house, amazing guy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you again for taking the time. Told us about the car, told us the story behind it and the why. I think now we heard enough from you, but now we need to get the car.
Perfect, let's go.